That's why you guys can't hear me, because I'm on mute. Let me know if you can hear me in YouTube land, please. Bueller. Thank you, Gabriel. I'll be back in a minute to this disclaimer. What am I doing here?
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not an indication of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues that for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in Wholesale Percent Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity futures trading commission, CFTC, Rule 1.41. Hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made with any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently short differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One limitation of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses for actual trading program and trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results damage or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific recommendations. Analysis of I share trades and potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. Although this room is trades, I identify specific areas of trade financial themselves and ultimately invest in users. Trading is extremely risky, and if you decide to follow my personal trades, you sort your own risk and can potentially lose your entire account and even more. I know it's profitable and I have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values and I'll be exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices of the trades whether you enter long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices.
Yes, short retested.
The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade as it has such prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which way you personally decide to trade.
All right, good morning. So there's lots of stuff firing off here after the PMI as far as setups. You're going to hear some new stuff here. So this is the drawing tool. I'll put all this in the YouTube here. I'll put it in right now so you can have it. This is all the information. It's the last day for the drawing tool beta. It's going to go live. It's already actually should be live on the Bookmap Marketplace, but today is the last day you can get it. There's going to be 2 versions of this. We'll go over those here. It'll be the regular and then the pro. You're going to hear.
CS long validated.
You can hear the pro firing off here. It's pretty incredible. I don't miss trades as anywhere near as frequently. Hold on, let me post this in the room here.
CP long retested.
Alright, so that's that. Alright, I am currently long bonds. I just want to see where we're at here. I'll go over these trades that I put on pre-webinar. I got out of some here at the highs before the number, and then I'm still long, and there's a brand new setup here. So we'll come back to this in a second. Bonds usually move much slower. As far as ES, I was watching these setups that came in pre-number, PMI number. I was waiting for a retest. They did retest, but we got a new setup as well. But there is a possible way that I can go short. Not sure why that color is happening. Here we go. That one or that one, and I can trail my stop to that one based on my rules. So we'll go over this here in a second. So that first zone was 92.50. I think I have that in the spreadsheet. Yeah, 92.50 to 90. I can short at 85. Gotta make sure this is up to date. 4.62. That's the current ATR, 5-minute ATR. So this is the spreadsheet that I use. What did I just? Oh, I've stopped out on crude. I thought I was gonna avoid that by the hair of my chin. But anyway, crude, we were short. I'll go over. I missed an exit over here a little bit ago. I was short off of this sell ice. Anyway, I just stopped out of that. But I'm going to be trading bigger size to the upside based on my thesis. We'll go over that here in a second. Anyway, I'm going to short at 84.75 ES. You can see here this market is now turned bearish, at least intermediate term. After yesterday, we had those last couple of days failed breakout of that structure, breakdown of that structure through the high volume node of that. So you had balance breakdown of current through a prior, built balance, ripped down. This is all on the Fed stuff. came back, basically retested that high volume node, huge selling tail, huge directional conviction. So any of these zones coming back up are great areas to short. You know, if it gets back through here, then I'm changing my tune. But right now, I can
Yes, long validated.
trade bigger size to the downside,
EV long entered.
especially into these zones. All right, I'm missing bonds here. I could have. I'll go there in a second. Anyway, so this current setup now is turned bullish. So my short ideas for these zones, I was waiting for retest for these things. Those are off the table now because the most current setup is now bullish, right? So I potentially could go long. So again,
Yes, disqualified.
so the other thing about this pro drawing tool, you're going to be hearing this the entire webinar. It's really cool, but you know, we're going to change this. This is reading off like setups that happen, whether they disqualified for like, if there was 10 setups, it would keep reading them off. We're going to have it so it just reads the current one, the conditions in the current one, and one prior. Because I don't need to know, 10 setups back what's going on, and it's very confusing if you're not privy to what's going on. So anyway, this is a bullish setup. I just got done saying that I'm, short-term bearish, intermediate-term bearish as far as the setups, but I'm a day trader, and I will trade both ways if my rules of my trading strategies follow. So you can see here, algo guy, this is exponential moving average I use to help filter my bark and lick trades. Those are two different trading strategies. This has not pulled below, and this is kind of a tell too, where the market tried to pull below, couldn't pull that blue. That's the shorter term exponential moving average, couldn't pull it below. A lot of times when it tries, it doesn't, then it gets back above, and then these algos just rip it the other way. So that is bullish, meaning I can take barks and licks on a retest confirm of this area. So that's all in here. These are the trading strategies I'm using. There's about 50 more coming. I don't know why this little floaty is here. It's really annoying. So if that retest fails, I will go along the bark. So that's a blind ATR retest confirmed. So these are way more frequent, right? These trades, because the whole point is there's inherent edge in these setups just by themselves, regardless of where you are on the charts or whatever you're looking at. So I will take those trades, but that's why I use the additional filter value guy, because they're so frequent, right? So if this does retest, come back, confirm, I'm in. That's my rules for that bark trade. And then the lick trade is, depending on the entry here. So these are subjective decisions you have to make, right? So there is heavy liquidity here that's been sitting here. The goal of the lick trade is just to trade the liquidity. Well, you got to decide, hey, is that worth, if you're waiting for this, is it worth 8 points to risk potentially 15 or whatever this zone is? So let's put the zone in first and we'll figure it out. Stop run here, 86.75 to 79.50. That's the most recent setup. There's some sell ice here too. That wasn't threshold though, so that would be a step bros setup. We'll go over the setups too. Let me plug this in, 86.75. So this is the spreadsheet that my trade room is privy to, or you can get this as a subscription. If you want to use it, it's incredible. It helps you. It's just plug in your zone, plug in the current ATR, and it gives you all your entry prices, stop prices if you want to go long. If you want to go short, you put in your account size, and it tells you the amount of contracts you can put on, both the big contract and then the micro. So everything's done for you. You just have to follow your rules. Hold on, let me plug this in here. This is 4.99. So this is just a 5-minute Wilder's ATR. It's just telling me the last 5 minutes what the range is. So it's about 5 points. Very, very important to figure out what the current volatility is. All right, so if this retests this zone, you're going to hear it alert me, right? So this is the pro version of the drawing tool, and then you can see all these lines. These lines are for the reversion trade that we have in the room, and that's this part of the spreadsheet. Right, so we talk about this all the time. The propensity for these markets to come back to these zones is absolutely ridiculous, and so there's many times it'll hit the 1 ATR, it'll come back.
NG long entered.
The 2 ATR, the 3 ATR, and I always get questions. Well, which one do you take? Well, I don't know, right? Some days the ones work nonstop. Some days the ones and the 2s work nonstop. Some days those get blown out and the 3 works. What you can use, and I don't like getting into the reversion trade too much on these webinars because it's just, especially putting trades on, because it's way too involved and I got to sit here and stare at it. But something you can use to decide is this price change algo. We'll go over this for the reversion trades and even entering. Hopefully, we'll be able to try to use this for entering position trades for longer term trades. We are not getting in on the price change spike. So you can see this one worked where it did pull back, right? So if you're watching this price change, you can get this is on the market pulse indicator. We'll go over all this stuff, but you can kind of watch, if you're staring at the market and you see it. So say this does this. We'll try to do it if I'm on top of this market. As this comes back to my entry, say my entry's here, well, if the price change algo is overbought, I can try to wait a second to wait for a pullback, get a better price, and or not even enter it at that time, right? And maybe wait for a reversal price change. We'll go over this, price change. So we'll go over it. Again, I even tell my trade room, because a lot of traders are new to this. It looks like there's just so much going on. It's really not that complicated once you understand. But I would not even be looking at this if you're new or you're trying to learn this stuff. This is the king, right? This is the edge. You learn how to trade these things first, just basic sense with the spreadsheet. Then you can start, getting more advanced with the price change and the volume. There's another market pulse that we use, and this is the volume pressure imbalance. Hold on, where's that at? Right here. So we'll keep that on too. That shows if there's extreme selling. I have it set for the last hour, buying or selling. So we'll go over all this hopefully if the stuff starts firing off. So the point is, be careful. If you don't know what's going on with this stuff, I would not even have the price change algo on the chart, right? And then what's also awesome about this new Pro drawing tool, it has the current ATR right here as well. So, this is judging all these different reversions and everything else based on the ATR. So anyway, this will let us know when it retests, confirms, and then we'll go along potentially yes. So other than that, there has not been any other setups that I have heard. Let's check the old alert box here. So I hear this stuff. I'm watching 20 different markets, so I hear it, but I don't hear it. So then you just come over here and say, okay, what did I miss? I am currently long NG. We'll go over that here in a second as well. This was from before, and I'm long bonds. So I got to check these positions that I'm actually in, and we'll go over the trade quickly here. So this was bonds. So what I'm showing you is all these different markets. This is to show you that it doesn't matter what market you're trading in futures. You should be watching multiple markets instead of just staring at ES all day, because you're missing out on opportunities in other markets because they all fall into the same patterns, because this is traded volume and these markets react to traded volume, aka traders that are loaded up, algos that are loaded up. So I've been watching thousands and thousands and thousands of these over the last 7 years. We've devised a system with distinct trading rules on how to take advantage of these patterns, and that's all it is, right? So again, everything looks very complicated if you're new in here, but it's really, really basic, and that's how I like to trade, right? And that's how, when I started trading, when I was a large scalper, I was just staring at that. That's all. I didn't have any charts up, period. I just would stare at the dome and trade off of that. So that's how I made millions of dollars. So it shows you can, at the time I made millions of dollars. It shows you it doesn't get much simpler than just staring at this. So the point is, you don't have to have all this technical stuff to make money trading if you simplify it. So all right, so this long is working out. So the original zone was down here. I got the this was at the time I took barking lick here. Actually, the lick trade already been filled. I should have got a lick. Here's the new lick right here. So I'll keep an eye on this. So you can also see these sweeps coming in. So you can judge at certain areas if you're looking to get out. If they're coming in and sweeping the order book to the upside, you may want to hold it for a second. So it's hard for me to do these on this webinar, sit here and watch this and see if it can get through. So I'm actually going to get out of my lick trade right here, and I'm going to go over why I got in. And I still have bark on.
CS long entered.
And then you hear him saying, like, these trades are entered. I'm not personally potentially entering these trades. It's showing just quickly. You just heard yes, so that means there was a setup. So this one here, it followed the qualifications. It looks like it did or it might have been this one. But anyway, it did the retest confirm. So it's telling you should basically go long here based on the rules. So I'm not in that trade right now. I got enough going on, as you can see. The one issue with the Pro, like you literally have FOMO nonstop, right? Because you keep hearing all these things firing off. You're like, oh crap, I gotta get over there. I gotta get over there. It's good and it's bad. It's good because I'm not missing trades anywhere near as frequently, but it's bad because now I'm worried I'm missing trades. You know what I mean? So anyway, this was a bark and a lick trade. Algo guy, just a quick rundown. Remember, it doesn't matter what market. So Algo guy was bullish at the time. See that? This is today. Sorry, this is kind of scrunched up here. You guys got questions as I go over this stuff, throw them in the YouTube channel. So Algo guy was bullish this entire morning. So I got my buy ice set up down here. That was earlier. There was like 1,000 that fired off. It gave me the ATR. This was the bark and the lick. We just talked about what I'll possibly do in ES. Same thing, bark and lick trade strategy. Here's your ATR. Here's your retest. Here's your confirm. I got long both bark and lick. I headed up here and I got out of some. So then I have specific areas that I will get out of my position trades. And actually, this is an area I want to be getting out right now, and I just missed it. It just bounced off the red lug. So I already got out of my lick. I'm getting out of my bark right now, too. Hold on a second. So these are especially levels, extremely important areas that I get out at. So that was a great trade. It did that on the number, came back. I'm out of the trade. It was a 2-hour trade. I made $1,000 on a 2 lot, right? It was risking 500. Those are very good trades. What was I going to talk about? I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, so I got out earlier. I got out at this was the point of control of this market profile composite. So I got out of one there, held one, and I just got out of the rest at the lug. And I usually get out of all my trades at the major lugs. And when I say Ludwig levels, they're the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in trading futures, and that's in here. Everything I trade with is in here. And guys, when you don't need all of these indicators that I don't even have that many indicators. But you don't need to get all this stuff. It would behoove you to probably use what I'm using. I'm using it for a reason. Speaking of tip strike, let me get that rolling. I haven't had that on. But you don't have to have all this stuff. What you do need to have, especially if you come in my room, is Bookmap, obviously. And this is all here. The MBO bundle that powers the SI indicator. This is the driver of my trading. By far, the biggest edge I've ever seen is this SI indicator. That's what all the setups are based off of, right? And then you need a rhythmic data feed, so it goes over all that stuff. So anyway, out of bonds, currently long natural gas. This one was an Izzy trade at the time. I probably could have just put on a new trade off of this setup, but this was this setup over here. So this was buy ice in an inflection zone. These are Izzy zones, I call them, or the trade's called Izzy. That's this trading strategy. Right here, inflection zone trade. So on my website, you get all this stuff in my room, but you can get subscriptions to it if you can't make it in the room. And I'm going to actually have a new form of Izzy's here. We're going to be putting them on TradingView, and then you can just have the charts up. Thanks to Madam Shizzle in my trade room, so it'll look like something like this. Hold on, let me find it here. Because TradingView is supposedly much cheaper. Let's see. I don't have it. Yeah, so it'll look like this. These aren't up to date, but it'll look like something like this, and it'll transfer to your screen. And then when I update them, they automatically update instead of just posting these charts every day like we're in 1972. So anyway, this is the website. If you want the spreadsheet there.
Retested.
There you go. There's your retest ES. Inflection zones if you want them both. So, but I'm going to be switching from the actual just charts to TradingView charts, and they'll be more dynamic and updating and so on and so forth. So we'll come back to natural gas here in a second. I want to, obviously there's just so many people that love the ES. So this is what I was waiting for. And we talked about the propensity for these markets to come back to the volume events. That's why we have a trade for that. You can see here, this is harder to see. This looks like that was so the 1 and the 2 ATR worked here, right? So this line was the 1 ATR. This weird looking line is the stop for the 1 ATR. And then the 2 ATR got filled too. And the stop for the 2 ATR was up here. So both of these trades work. You're out at the zone. This is a different trade. This is like a scalp trade. That's this part of the spreadsheet, right? So if you took the 1s and the 2s, talking to my trade room, that was the entry. Again, that's dynamic. You got to be updating the spreadsheet if you're trading off the spreadsheet. But entry was 91 quarter, you're out at the zone. The 2, 95.75, you're out at the zone. That's all the trade is. It's just for those of you who love to scalp, that's for you. And then we have some market pulse scalps that you can do too. Because certain traders, you got to figure out what type of trader you are. Are you a trader that can sit through this stuff, right? So if I go long this trade, I'm going to have to sit through, very likely, this type of stuff. If you just can't handle it, and that's the trader I used to be as a scalper. That's why I gravitated towards scalping, because I couldn't stand sitting in trades. Most people can't. That's why trading's so hard, right? Especially position trading. I've conditioned myself, but the point is, there's trades for both types of mental trader in my room, or what I teach, based on what you like. But if you're going to scalp, I would never, I keep getting questions about this thing. I would not, guys, I made millions and millions of dollars trading off of that. If I'm not doing it, there's probably a reason. Doesn't mean it can't be done, but it's highly unlikely. With this stuff, these are your scalps that you can be taking in the market pulse. Hopefully we'll get into some of those scalps on this webinar. But as of right now, let's enter this trade if it comes back. This is ES. Remember I said I was going long. That's your zone. Let's make sure that was the right zone. Yeah, that was that stop run. So this is a Dumb and Dumber setup. I'll go over that here in a second. ATR is currently 5.16, so it's increasing. That 5 ATR is not bad, meaning decent volatility. So if this comes back, I'm going long at 92.75. Tells me the MES contracts I can put on. Obviously, you can't put on a half big one, so I put on, I'll round up, I'll put on 6 MES. That's the entry price. That's your stop price. Shows you your risk. So I'm risking 19 points on this trade. And I know people are like, what? I like to risk 2 points when I put on my ES trades. Exactly. That's why the algos eat you alive, right? When you have these static stops, that's not adjusting to the volume events or the ATR. You're just rolling the dice that you're not going to get stopped out, right? So let me get this in real quick because this is probably going to rip up. 92.75. I can put on Bark and Lick. Yeah, a second here. My natural gas is coming out, by the way. I got to get out of my position there so I don't get smoked. 90 is... that is working. And hold on, guys. I'm just trying to find the... So I have Apex accounts, and we'll talk about Apex for all these different strategies to keep track of them. I'm just trying to find the number. Hold on. I'm trying to find the damn thing. Park is 90. Lick is 87. All right, so that comes back up there, going long at 92.75, and it's almost there. Right? So the trade is volume event. Got a Dumb and Dumber, Dumb Money Puke. Usually that's not initiative selling, it's just guys puking. We got our ATR, we got the retest to the tick. By the way, that's not coincidental. And if this comes to 92.75, I'm long, and my stop goes below the volume event plus an ATR and change. That's how I trade them. Why do I do that? So I don't get algoed out, right? And you'll be watching, now we'll bring up price change, you'll watch how these algo, one of the main algos in here is the price change algo. And it's not based on anything but a quick move in price that these algos fade. So I just got filled. You can see right there, there's your price change algo. What I should have been watching here, and it actually it's not.
Long entered.
So see how this is telling me I should be long. So I actually probably should have my entry points a little higher because it's dynamically adjusting to the ATR increasing. But anyway, I'm in the trade. I would have been in already anyway. But what you do want to watch, so what I wasn't watching, and I said we were going to watch, and I got away with it this time. This comes back up, and we're at the entry price. If you can stare at the market at the time, make sure you're not jumping in on a price change because it's very likely going to snap back as it's going to do here. Very likely, right? So the whole point of this, too, is to time your entries. But if anything, it just gives you peace of mind and understanding why you get juked all the time, right? So it feels very personal. So here we go. This is starting to hit the max for price change. Very likely to do that, at least short term, right? So if you know this is hitting, you're not crapping your pants when the thing pulls back. You're expecting it to pull back because you've got these algos that trade that are 90% of the market, not just price change algos, but algos in here. It just helps you understand and have peace of mind why it does what it does. So, when nothing's going on, you'll get price change and it'll snap back. Sometimes, if you are trying to scalp just off of this, Yeah, and just like these price change algos are scalping off of that, right? But there's going to be times that the big money comes in and it just keeps price changing. So you got to be, if you are going to try to scalp off this thing for quick scalps, you better be aware there's going to be times where the price change just keeps coming in and the thing will roll for 20 points because the big money's playing. The big money's only in here, 5-10% of the time. So that means 89 or 95% of the time, yeah, you can make money, but you better be ready when the thing does rip and keep going. Like right here is showing me, you can see these algos are trying to pull this thing back.
Stop by NQ.
There you go.
165
So
contracts.
this tells me the big money's kind of in here, and these algos are trying to snap it back, and it's not working right now. So anyway, we're long. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll go over it more. If you're new, I would not be focusing so much on that. I would be focusing on the king right here, volume event. Here we go. Hopefully this is an Izzy zone so I can short this puppy. I know I'm long, but so this is close to an Izzy zone. Pretty close. These are zones. They're not exact prices. I have to make a decision. Do I want to take, you can see what happened here yesterday, right? This is why this was drawn. This was, the number came out, or the Fed came out, then it did some
Yes, disqualified.
selling tail. So that, don't pay attention to that. That's a disqualification for a short setup from before. For ES. Anyway, this is an important area. I can take a short here if it qualifies, right? So yeah, there's a potential I can be long Bark and Lick in ES and short Izzy in NASDAQ, right? So let's plug this in. And this new drawing tool. So again, today's going to be the last day for the beta drawing tool, where it's going to go live tomorrow for both the, I think we'll have Pro set up tomorrow too. But the basic drawing tool, we've had beta, we've had it for about 2-3 months. So as of tomorrow, it's going to be subscription based. You get it on the Bookmap webinar. 17,361.50 to 53.50. That's your zone. So let's plug that in and then see how we're going to trade this. You'll be able to watch this as stick strikes, just telling you the stocks and comprise the heaviest weighted stocks, FANG or whatever they call them these days, Meta. Or not Meta, whatever, what is it, Mag 7, and then the actual futures. These are just a gauge. That's an algorithm, tells you this, the intensity and the speed of the orders coming in, 1 to 15. So if you're seeing, I have mine set at 11, so it won't light up or make noise unless it hits 11. That's telling me there's just extreme buying or selling. It just gives me a heads up. Market Pulse is basically the same thing, but on steroids, right? So Market Pulse, and we'll go over this. Hopefully, there's all these different options with Market Pulse, but it's kind of basically based off the same thing. How do I know that? Because I'm the one who asked, I didn't tell them, I asked Bookmap a year and a half ago to come up with a better version of Tick Strike, and they did, and it was Market Pulse. It should be named after me, but I'm okay with it, how they named it. So let's put this in, I'm just kidding. Kind of. 361.50, 17, and I'll get to your questions here in a second, guys. Let me, if you have some, I haven't even looked yet. 24 is your ATR, very important, right? So now we judge based on this, how this reacts. What did I just fill on? Oh crap, I forgot to get out of my damn natural gas. Damn it. That is not cool. Not cool at all. Hold on, damn it. So I stopped that. I just got done saying, see, this is what happens when on these webinars. Like, I could have been out up here. I just took a 40 tick loss on a 2-lot because I didn't get out into the number. God forbid that it's in my favor when the number comes out, but that just never happens. So there's another mistake. Speaking of mistakes, I'll show you this quickly. This was a huge trade I missed today too. Let's see how bad it was. Yep, of course. This was a Izzy. Inflection zone. You get in aggressively. Look at that trade. This is copper, right? Once again, doesn't matter what you're trading. It's the same patterns. This is a whopper too that I just missed. Might as well. I'm just trying to get it out of my system so I don't bitch the entire webinar. All right, so we don't know what this setup is yet. Hold on. Let me see if there's some areas to be getting out of some of these before this thing comes back on me. Because once again, I'm bearish. Yes, intermediate term. So any areas this hits for me to potentially cover some of these, I'm going to cover some of them. See, this looks like it should be new Ludwig levels. There is. So where did I enter this trade at? It's already coming back. I can't remember. 92.75. So I could have got out of some. So one of my rules is I usually get out at yellow lug. This was pretty damn close to be getting out, but this I'm gonna get out of a couple here. It's only well now it's only 2 points, but I could have got out of with 4 or 5 point winner here. Extreme standard deviation of VWAP, confluent with yellow lug. Really nowhere on market profile, but I could have got out of a couple there. I'll just hold it. If it comes back, it comes back. But I missed a potential entry. That would have been close to it was close to a 7 point winner. And I just, again, on the webinar, so I can't watch everything that's going on. But anyway, if this comes back and stutters here again, I'm going to get out of some. I have a feeling I'm not going to get that opportunity, and this may come all the way back and stop me out. And if it does, it does, right? I should have been out there. I'll show you my crude trade earlier. I made the same mistake. I wasn't watching it, and I could have got out of some. But if that does happen, likely NQ is going to be breaking, and I'm going to take a short, potentially, in NQ. So let's look at these prices, right? So we've already talked about how this is an inflection zone. This is an Izzy trade, Izzy strategy. Volume event at an important area. This is where this directional conviction started yesterday, right? And it's basically the high volume node of that, the top of the high volume node of this little structure from yesterday. So this still looks bearish to me. If this fails and I get short this Izzy, I'm trading this double size because of my thesis of the market. So I trade both ways, right? I already said I was bearish ES, intermediate term. I'm long because I'm a day trader. But if I start getting shorts in ES, I'm going to take them bigger size. Same here. Why? Because you had breakout, breakdown, held, fail breakout of that structure. That was already telling you something was up. We talked about this in the room. And now we're here. This broke down, comes back. This fails again. I'm going to take it and I'm double size and heading down there would be my thesis, right? So I have opinions, aka thesis, on basically everything I look at. It doesn't mean I won't take other trades the other way, like I said. But if my thesis lines up with the volume events that are real-time occurrences, then I trade bigger, right? Let me get out of a couple of these ES here. It's a very tiny winner. I'll get out. I have 8 on. I'll get out of 3. Wait, was that 8 or? Oh, 6. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna get out of. I'll get out of 3 here. Just because, again, guys, because this is another way I use my thesis, right? So if I have a bearish thesis and this market's hitting important areas and I'm long and I'm thinking bearish, well, I'm not going to try to hold it for huge moves because I still think that's going to happen. So I'll take my money and run at these important areas, right? In these areas, I'm very, very consistent in where I get out of these position trades, right? So these are the different areas I get out at, straight out of trading in the zone, right? Not all of them. I piece out of some of my position, right? So Ludwig levels, I'll get out of all of them, like you saw me get out of bonds most of the time. But these are the areas I get out. So this one was VWAP, extreme standard deviation, and it was confluent with the yellow lug. So that's why I got out of some there. So if it rips off the page, I'm still long. It's fine. But I got out of some because this is very likely he's going to fail here and come back. And then another way you can come up with a thesis for what's going on real time, these are the Ludwig levels. Not only are they incredible resistance, support, targets, you can also, when it builds new lugs, the market should react certain ways or something's up. So this one built new lugs to the upside, right? So you got your yellow lug. That's like the mean, usually like the directional. It's where it's probably the most choppy. So new lugs is telling me this should keep going higher. What will determine that? Well, this better hold current yellow, prior red. If it doesn't, telling you something's up, then you come up with that thesis just for this stuff, right? And you can come up with then you add in the market profile and then everything else we've been talking about. If this holds, then I would expect that, right? So that's just a thesis. I'm already long. Again, if this holds and you have a bullish stance and then you start to see bullish events, you can trade bigger, say, hey, the lugs are my favorite too. So hopefully that's making sense. I trade both ways. I use different things to come up with a thesis. We talk about this every day in my trade room. It's like a scale, right? So when you're determining what's going on, if you want to trade bigger in a certain direction, you can say, okay, what's bullish? Well, the lugs are bullish. The volume event was bullish. What's bearish? We've already looked at the structure. That's definitely bearish, intermediate term, and pretty much short term. What else? This is bullish too, by the way. Got in here and ripped back out, so that's 3 things that are bullish. And then basically, then you can put more weight on overall the structure stuff is bearish. So 3 to 2, is that worthy of double size to the upside? To me, it wouldn't be. There'd be times where you get like everything on one side of the scale, bullish, bullish, bullish. You get your volume event, trade triple, double, triple size, right? You see what I'm doing here? So just because one thing's bullish, one thing's bearish, that doesn't mean anything, right? So this is all stuff that you learn as you trade, and this is what I go over every day in my trade room. So if you want to learn what I'm doing and get my thesis every day, that's the place to go. And then how to trade these too. All right, so let's get back to NASDAQ. Hopefully, as I get on these rants and then I don't put the trade on. So let's get this going. Let's see where we're at. All right, so it's just bouncing around this zone. So again, if this fails out of here, I'm going to take an Izzy short. Izzy shorts, for the most part, are aggressive trades, meaning the first move out of the volume event, I'm going to go short. Just make sure this is correct. Meaning, here's my short price, 26. Here's the size I can put on. I would put on double size because of my bearish view, intermediate, short-term bearish view of the market. So I'll put on 8 at 26. Izzy, if that comes back. There's a way this gets disqualified. We'll go over that here in a second. Then I'll get to your questions because I need to take a breath. Am I chirping? All right, so that is working. So everything's ready to go if the market breaks out of that volume event. If this moves higher and invalidates, that's the invalidation price. That would cancel that Izzy short, and it would actually make this a bullish setup. And then I could potentially take longs off of that setup like I did ES, right? So I don't know what I'm doing with this yet, right? This is one tell what's probably going to happen, because if you've been on any of my webinars or watched Bookmap at all, you know that this is the big money, and you know this is going to get filled. Does it mean right the second? No, probably will, right? So there's actually a way this can get filled and still not be a bullish setup, right? And that's what the prices are in the spreadsheet. The validation price or invalidation price is 85.50. Validation price for the long is 85.50. That disqualifies a short and makes that a long. Well, there's a way this liquidity, and it's almost 100% going to get filled. This is still not a bullish setup, right? If this touches 85.50, then I could potentially take longs off of this amount. So let's just watch the big money get their fill here any minute, because they are the big money, and they get what they want because they push the market into their orders. How do I know that? Because that's the game I used to play all day, every day. I used to load up the order book, right, with thousands or 500s or whatever, and then I would start testing the water. If there's no resistance, I'd buy some more, and then I would just step on the gas. The other traders would see there's thousands trading, and they jump on, and it will run it right into my resting sell orders, aka liquidity, and I'd be out of the trade. I'd make, this was ES I was trading, I'd make, 2-3 points on 1,000, and then I'd be done. On to the next trade. It is just that game all day long. That's why my setups are real life occurrences. They're not just opinions of what I think's happening. It's what I used to do, right? So that's leads me to this. This is what these setups are. This is my course. You can get it on my website or the Bookmap Marketplace. These are these setups, right? So the course goes over everything, drawing the zones, all the settings, the thresholds for each market, adjusting your thresholds on certain days, the sub-chart settings, on-chart settings, sweeps indicator, how to draw zones. It starts off the very basic when we're actually doing them wrong, and it gets more advanced to draw them correctly. With the zone drawer, they're pretty much drawn for you. So that's another thing. We've been doing this by hand. I've been doing this by hand for 7 years. It was even more brutal with just the basic drawing tool on Bookmap, right? And then the trader in my trade room, Johan, he's a developer. He found a way to get these zones drawn automatically. So this just saves me hours and hours of time where I don't have to come in here and draw these by hand. And that's what these are doing for you, right? They're drawing these zones. And actually, I think I missed a trade here, potentially. Sure did. I wanted to be long gold, and we'll look at that. But anyway, these are my setups. So we talked about the trading strategies. Well, the trading strategy, this is number one. We're looking for these particular setups in important areas that make the trading strategy happen, right? So Dumb and Dumber. That's what we saw in ES. Dumb Money Puke, right? Dumb Money Puke. Dumb and Dumber. So stop runs are usually retail trader pukes. That is information in its own right, where, like I talked about, it's not usually initiative selling. It's just guys puking. That's a cue that it's bullish to begin with, right? The setup, stop and hold. That's when a stop run comes in and it holds in that area. Like this might be, like for instance, NQ. This may turn into a stop and hold, right? So you get the stop run, buy stop run, and then the market kind of holds and the big money comes behind it and it keeps going. So that we have that set up. And then you got Titanic. That's when you get buy ice that holds, right? And it holds and goes higher. Broken ice, when you get an ice that comes in, iceberg that comes in, and it moves the other way. So paper's not always right. The big money's not always right. They're right more often than they're wrong because they are the big money and they can just keep holding the market until it relents, right? But the point is, it doesn't matter what it really is. These areas are what's important. It's showing you areas because there's always
157 contracts.
there's always two sides to the trade, right? So you just want to know where these areas are. There's loaded up traders, and we're taking advantage of the traders that are wrong, right? So you can see what kind of happened here too, right? So
Gold stocks stopped by GC.
all right, so
127 contracts.
I wanted to get long right off that number on gold. Gold looks like it's going to rip off the page. I will definitely trade double size. We'll go over that here in a second to the upside. So you had the dumb money puke, right? You're like, oh yeah, that's moving higher. And then what do you see here? Swipes. I call them swipes. They're sweeps. Bruce doesn't like when I call them swipes. Hold on, I want to see what the buying pressure look like here. That's already on here. All right. So this didn't quite get to the most selling in the last hour. Got to 70%. This should have colored. So this is important information, right? Real-time information. So we already know the buy stops are likely traders puking. That's not real buying, right? Potentially. Then you see sweeps, market pulse, volume, pressure, imbalance, meaning it was the most selling in the last hour. And you can see them in the sweeps. So what's that telling me? Retail trader puke, and now the big money's sweeping it down. Okay, then you can see how the market reacted to it. And we actually have scalp trades you can trade. These follow a ridiculous pattern of retesting and failing too. So what that's telling me is the buying wasn't real. The sellers are engaging. Bigger money sellers are engaging. This is probably going to go down. So I already have my Izzy trade working down here at, what was that price? It's not contingent on that. I'm just giving you guys, like when you're looking at it, you're like, I don't know if I should go short here. Well, if you're following the rules, you should just be following the rules. But that just gives you added confidence that this is more likely to break than not. I don't like this. Like I said, this is going to get filled. This depends on when. That's the only thing that's scaring me if I do enter this short. Hopefully it'll fill before I enter my short. But either way, when this comes back, I'm going to be short at 26. And make sure you're updating this ATR too. See, now it's down to 2280. So watch how that's going to change. Now it's 27.25 is my entry, right? So this is dynamic, and you've got to follow that so you get your accurate entries. So I'm going to change that now to 27.25. This was the Izzy short. If it comes down there, if it doesn't, then we will figure out what we're going to do with that setup. All right, still have some ES longs on here. It's just going to do nothing. We got out of some up here for a reason, and it did react at that area, right? So it's basically down back at the entry. Let me see if you guys got any questions. Madam Shizzle, thanks for saying that about NG. Yeah, I'm glad I said it and then it didn't get out. That was nice. Demo trader. So Madam Shizzle is like one of the veteran traders in my trade room. So it's not, this is what I want. She's doing what I want to be done, right? So in my trade room and the webinars. So she's alerting, and if every trader did this, no one would miss trades. So she's actually doing what I want her to do, right? So if you look at this, right, go to my trade room on Discord. This is what I want, like people talking, posting charts, talking about these setups. So if enough people do this in my trade room and aka participation, this is like having our own little trading firm. Everyone's talking, like, the trading firms like SMB, they all sit around a table with their own screens and like, hey, check out AMD, because they're stock traders. Check out Tesla. Check out, hey, short setup in Tesla. That's what I want, right? So she's doing what I want with these quotes. So she's not. Yes, this is not a trade signal type of thing. What I'm doing here, I want you guys to learn how to do this on your own. But all she's doing is saying, hey, ES is at the red lug, right? what else did she say? Slug GC. She's alerting to these setups, just like I am. That's what I want. I wish more of my traders were doing this. That's a little upsetting. She's the only one doing it, but she's one of the top traders in the room. So there you go. All right, so what she was just telling me, which I talked about this setup. I had no idea it was a slug. Now I know it's a slug. What's a slug? A stop run into the lug. Thank you, Madam Shizzle. Let's go over here. Check out gold. Here we are. So what's a slug? It's a stop run. We just got done talking how stop runs are not usually initiative buying. Well, we already know that's a very, very important resistance area, the lugs. You get a volume setup into the lug, not real buying. That is a aggressive short off of this area. I just got done saying I'm long. I have a long bias of gold. Does that mean I won't take that short? I will take that short if it fails out of... Guys, if the market's truly bullish, this looks completely bullish right now. Looks like this is going to rip off the page. But if it's completely bullish, then you should not be seeing these volume events bearish. So if it does turn bearish, I'm going to take advantage of it because I'm a day trader. I would be very quick to get out on the shorts because of my overall bias. But current time, this was a stop run. If this fails out of here, that's a slug. I'm taking a short. It looked like that was an Izzy too. Let's see. It's close. Yeah, I'll take an Izzy here too, right? So you got the volume event at the top of this zone, pretty much the bottom of that zone. So I got an Izzy short and potentially a slug short. And I'm very bullish this market looking right now. But I will take a short-term short if this fails. If it doesn't, I will take bigger trades. We're going to blow through here, blow through the lugs, form new lugs. Then my longs are going to be double size because it's fitting my narrative of what's going on. But I will definitely short this if it occurs. Stop run was from 2069.5 to 2068.4. You go to your spreadsheet, plug it in, plug in the ATR, and then you know your prices and your size. 2069.5, 2068.4. ATR in here is 2.66. Means just rotating about 27 ticks every 5 minutes. So Izzy's, slugs, Izzy's for the most part are always aggressive, meaning the first move out of here, I'm short. Slugs, same thing. Barks,
short validated.
Barks and licks, I'm about to get filled on my, there you go, just filled on my Izzy short and NQ. Barks and licks are waiting for the retest. I don't wait for retest in slugs and Izzy because the areas are so powerful, it may not retest and I miss the trade. So that's why I do that, right? And it's all in here, right? Whether it's aggressive, meaning first move out, or wait for the ATR retest to confirm. Right? So this one's first move out, and I'm hopefully not going to miss this trade. What is that entry? 53. I could put on 7. I'm not going to trade double size here because I have a long view of the market, bullish view, but I still will take the short. Like I said, 53, Izzy and slug in gold. What is that? I guess I was long gold. I forgot I put that on. So I'll stop out if it comes back to 53. That's basically my entry. I got to look and see what I did. That was pre-market. It's not good that I can't remember that trade. But all right, so I will. So I'm currently long. We'll look at it. There was a reason I went long. But if it comes back to 53, I'll be out of the long because it's the most recent event that turns bearish. That's how I trail my stops. So I obviously got long with something down here. I just couldn't remember what I did here. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it was this was the number, but anyway, I'm long. So I will hold it until certain areas. Actually, I should be out right here into the lug. I'm going to do that right now. But if, say, the lug wasn't here, I trail it to the most recent event. That's how I trail my stops. That's how you should trail your stops. So actually, I'm going to get out of this. Hold on here. 87. Wait, no. Where is that? 88. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. All right. I got out of that long. I forgot I even had it on, but I got out of it because it's struggling at the Ludwig level, lug, right? And I know how powerful these things are. So that's why I should have been out up here. I just didn't even know I had the damn position on, or I forgot. So now anyway, I will take the shorts if this fails out of here. And again, that price is 56, I think, and 53. So let's get those set up. Izzy. Actually, that was the Izzy I took. We'll look at that if we get a chance. That's why it was long. I just forgot about it. All right, 53 Izzy, and then the slug. I'm going short as well. All right, those are working. If this ends up not breaking down and turns into a bullish setup, then I'll take barks and licks to the upside, right? Algo guy is bear or bullish, so that's my filter. Those are different trading strategies. I'll take those, right? So we'll see what happens out of that zone. All right, I'm currently short NASDAQ and I'm long ES. It sucks that I have dueling positions on, but I did get out of half up here for that exact reason. That was yellow lug and what do we say, extreme standard deviation? I can't remember, but I got out of half. This stops me out, Good thing is I'm short NASDAQ, right? So this is an example. This didn't fill this liquidity yet. That's why I get a lot of times in my trade room. Actually, this is already a decent trade. Was this 30 points in my favor? You can see here, this is how I'm going to judge if I'm going to get out in important areas.
Stocks LRT, 203 contracts.
All right, so I got in at 27.25, so this is already 30 points in my favor. What are some areas I may get out? Remember, I have a bearish view of the market, so I'm not going to be just quick to just pop out of things because I think this market can keep going to the downside. Here we go. This is yellow lug, extreme standard daily value area low. So if this struggles here, I'm going to get out of half of my trade. I'll take my 30 points and run. Yes, I just said I'm bearish, but you see this is blowing right through, so I may not need to get out. So we'll watch this for a second. But if this was struggling and I heard nothing on tick strike, meaning this was silent, then I would have been out of half here. Now I can basically hold it. Now what we can watch here too is the price change algo. Let's watch and see how that works. Maybe get out of a couple, even though I think this thing's going to tank. So this is already a 40-point trade, guys, right? Like, hold on, where's the price change? We'll even turn on the annoying, this thing could drive you absolutely batty. If you think tick strike's annoying, this thing, hold on, turn it on. So here's a perfect example. This has been price changing this whole time. What is that telling you? Well, big money's coming in here. That's why the algos aren't winning on the snapback. This could snap back any moment here. And you can see these are stopping. I'm going to get out of a couple here. I got 8 on, I'll get out of 2. As close to that yellow lug. So that's already a 1 hour trade, right? So I was risking like 40 points. I made 40 points. Got out of a couple. I still have 6 on.
CL short validated.
ES, just going to make sure my stop's working here. Yeah, I still only have 3 on. Remember, I got out of half up there for a reason, and it did fail up there. Now, if this comes back, I basically scratch this trade overall, right? Because I got out of some up there, and then the stop here is 73.50. So what am I doing with ES? I waited, or I'm forcing this thing. Let me get this trade in. Actually, I got 2 trades on, right? Bark and lick. Of course, I forgot to get out of some of my bark because I'm a moron. Anyway, for me to stop out of these, I'm demanding that we already got us some up here. This has to come back, get through this volume event, and push an ATR and change outside of this event, and then I'll stop out, right? So I got out of some. If this comes back, then it comes back. I'm out. Like I said, if that comes down there, that means NASDAQ's free falling, and I'm short NASDAQ. So, all right. See if you guys got any questions. No questions. Demo trader, that was nice of you to apologize. Yeah, she's not calling out signals per se. She's calling out the events, and that's what I want. All right, that was nice of you to apologize. Well, speaking of which, Bookmap wants me to post this. I saw your post, Dan. Let me do this before I forget, because I will 100% forget. Let's see. Could you please share this slide and request users complete the form it directs them to? We're trying to pair Discord usernames to email license keys as part of a push to improve users' overall Discord experience. All right, so this is, please click on this. I'm going to put this in the... Whoops.
SI disqualified.
Let's see. Hold on, I didn't copy that. this full quote here. What is it? This full message to me. Let me just put in this. Hold on, guys. I'm technically challenged, as everybody knows. So. Thank you, Madam Shizzle. Yes, I got out of some at the yellow lug. I still think this thing's going to get killed, but I got out of some because it's struggling here, right? So that's why I got out of some. So that's that, and then this is basically, here's a screenshot. I'll do that real quick.
NQ Ice Iceberg by NQ, 155 contracts.
All right, that's perfect, right? Meaning now I can trail my stop. Hold on, I'm gonna put this in the room too. I'm not really sure what it is here, but I gotta look at it when we're done. Well, it's not letting me put a screenshot in here. All right, so just click on that doc and figure out what's asking you. They would like that to be done. All right, so here's your new event. It still hasn't drawn yet. Waiting for it to draw. See, it's coming in 220 buy ice. So that means big money is buying down here with their hidden orders. There's your drawing tool. Populates. That's your zone. Now what I do, is I trail my stop to this event. Right? So my original stop was all for this short. I entered there. Stop was at 87.75. Now I have a new event. What? Didn't want that.
Nat Gas Ice Iceberg by NG, 152 contracts.
Why the hell won't this? Hold on. I'm just trying to. All right, forget it. 17,286 quarter. I love that new Microsoft that puts all the windows on one. I didn't being sarcastic. 17,282.50 is the bottom of the zone. ATR is 25.42. Oops. See you later, stocks, by the way. This thing's going to get smushed, I think. Anyway, so now I can go short off of this event too, different strategies, but now my stop's at 1550. So I just saved myself 70 points of risk, right? So now my stop was, remember, hold on, don't start freezing on me, please. Way up here. So this was a quintessential Dumb and Dumber. Dumb money puke, didn't hold, bye-bye. So my stop was up here, 85.50 or whatever that was, and now I'm bringing it all the way to an ATR and change above that one. Right? That's how I trail my stop. So if it comes back, stops me out, I already got a summit yellow lug, and then I'll still have a decent profit, like 20, 30 points on the rest. So and if it keeps going, I'm short. I will be looking at other areas to be piecing out of here in a second. 1550 is the new stop. And my stop's working down here in ES if that does crater. Stopped out of the rest of that, but like I said, I'll be still short NASDAQ. So I got dueling positions on. It's not ideal, but I follow what's going on in each market. I don't skip trades in ES because something opposite's happened in NQ. I put on both trades, right? All right, so now there's a way as well, depending on what happens here. First of all, let's just see where we're at here on the bigger picture. All right, I'm not seeing much. Like, I got out of some. It was, dancing around the yellow lug. I got out of some even closer down here. We are at extreme standard deviation, but you can see this is going to have the propensity to do that. Why? Well, you can see this relative volume is very, very important in trading. See right there? It's pretty much, it's not quite 2-to-1, 200%, but big money's playing here. When you get the big money playing,
PC long validated.
damn it. Hold on, I want to be long. So now my short in gold is canceled. We'll go over there in a second. But the point is, this could just keep hugging this thing all the way down. You have these algos that play extreme standard deviation of VWAP as a snapback because it's oversold or whatever, right? Because it's too far from VWAP. Well, when the big money's in here playing, this thing could just keep going, and these algos get run over, and then it's like a self-fulfilling thing. They go long, big money loads them up, they got to puke. That just helps the move down, right? So that is looking like is what's going on here. Will it surprise me if it pops off here? Not at all. But I already got out of some. I'm holding the rest. So it's either going to stop me out at 1550, right? Get this off here. This pops up to 1550. I'm out. You could even move it up a little bit if you don't want to stop out right in front of VWAP. Other than that, I'm holding to the blue lug or an opposing volume
NG
event
short validated.
like we got. God, I'm missing. All right, one thing at a time here. This is what I'm talking about with this new drawing tool that announces everything. You get FOMO and you're like, oh my God, wait, I'm missing that. I've already missed trades today and I have the damn thing running. Like this stupid copper trade short that I should have taken. All right, so gold, remember I was going to take that Izzy? Like I said, if it turned out short, and we probably got new lugs now too, look at that, I was going to take it. This is now a bullish event, a stop and hold, clearly. Dumb money puke, it's holding. Big money's behind it. Shocker, shocker, it's filling the liquidity. Now what I can do here, and I'm already bullish gold, long term, barks and licks, 2 times size. If that occurs, right? So this is already plugged in here, right? All you gotta do is make sure your ATR is up to date, up to the minute. We already know Algo Guy is bullish, so I can take barks and licks. That's pretty much the exact same ATR. We already talked about this. My filter for barks and licks is making sure Algo Guy is in my direction.
HG long validated.
Which it is. So it will let me know when it retests. Retest confirm. I'm going to take longs. There's nothing here for me to go aggressive long. But if it retests confirm, I will put on double size longs. Let's see, we got new lugs in here. There you go. New lugs. We got Bank of England is talk about recessions and stuff, forecasting recessions that might have an effect on the market. So you can see here too in Q, you can see these algos trying to pop this thing back, and the big money's unloading on this market. So that's what we're talking about, the relative volume. Like you can see here, like they're trying so hard to snap this thing, and it's not snapping, and they're about to get their necks snapped, right? They're trying. Then nope, puke them up. I would not be surprised to see another stop run here momentarily, and that's great. I'm short, so I'm going for blue lug here, or if this volume event or a new one proves to be bullish, right? And there is a way. If this confirms, well, I'll put on barks and licks. I'm already short Izzy, right? Put on the Izzy trade up in that stop run. Now, if this goes ATR retest confirm, I'm shorting. I don't think it got below there. I'm putting on other trading strategy shorts is what I meant to say. That price, confirmation price, and the thing will read it too, the voice. Make sure this is 24 now, 24.22. So that confirmation, validation, 58 quarter. So if this touches 58 quarter, didn't quite get there, this event is now bullish or bearish, and I'm going to put on barks and licks, different strategies, but I'll put those on. And you got lick down here, and I'm sure there's some more even lower. Let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, that's heavy enough. So I put on barks and licks off of this too. Remember, I'm already short Izzy. That's a trading strategy off of that. That was into that important area. Took that aggressively. Now that, if we get this, I'll put on different trading strategies.
CS long retested.
So you guys see, it's like, these are my important areas, right? This Izzy zone was an important area that I saw that my room got, and subscribers to this chart. If you saw that, I mean, look at that. That is the exact area that this started this down move yesterday, aka directional conviction. That's how these areas are drawn. They're drawn, I get that all the time. What are you drawing them on? Tops and bottoms of balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, directional conviction, buying and selling tails, right? And there's your price change algo, by the way. Nice and annoying here. It's actually going to the upside. So you could mess around and add, you can be trading around your position here too. What do I mean by that? Again, this is advanced stuff. But say you're like, okay, and the biggest one you can do it on is volume and balance market pulse. But you're doing the price change, you'd be like, oh, perfect. I was waiting for one of these. I know these algos are going to snap it back on a price change very likely. I'm going to put on some shorts right here, right? I'm not trading off of this. Volume pressure, actually, we can do. Let's see. But you can also use this for timing. We already talked about that. It's advanced. Don't be doing that if you don't even know what's going on with the volume events. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm going to actually turn this on volume-wise so we know when there's a volume event. And I can either add to this short or take some off from way up there. That's another thing you can do, aka trading around the position. So we'll keep this on. We will clearly hear it if it fires off. So you can see they're done selling right now. Actually, we didn't even look at it. Internals. So ADD's pretty much crashed. It was at 1500 down to close to zero. Tick's telling you something, right? This thing can't really get above the zero line anymore. So it started, it was kind of back and forth. Now it's holding below the zero line. That's telling you, this is just the universe of stocks that are down ticking, close to 1,000 of them are down ticking more than they're up ticking. That's the information. When we talk about thesis, you can use this to judge, hey, this is an important area. Oh, wait, this is starting to get above zero. I'm going to get out of some, right? I'm just giving you guys ideas. And that's the other thing. I get all this confusion. You get in here and you're like newer traders, they're trying to trade every one of these strategies and they're trying to do the market pull, trying to do the reversion trade, and they're trading all these different strategies. And then they're like, I'm just so confused. Guys, this is all stuff. You don't do all of them. Eventually you could. You come in here and say, you know what, I'm going to pick the slug and the Izzy, and I'm just going to look for those. I'm going to get perfect at that. I'm going to be an expert at those two trades. Once you get great at those, all right, now I'm going to add in a bark, or I'm going to add in a dada. You see that? It's not do every one of these. You could if you have the bandwidth, and you will eventually if you watch these long enough, but that's not the point of the room. And these areas that I show you, it's not, oh my God, there's a lug, there's a market profile composite, there's VWAP, there's DVA. These are all areas I'm telling you to help you build your own trade plan, right? So you may say, I don't think daily value is important at all. That's one standard deviation of VWAP. I don't think market profile composite is important at all. I mean, you'd be making a mistake, but that's fine. If you don't want to pay attention to this stuff, perfectly fine. The point is, I'm showing you all these different ideas or areas that I deem important to help you build your own trade plan in areas that you think are important. These are areas I deem important. So do you see it? But the point is, no matter what you're using, I go over this every week, I don't care if it's a moving average cross, if it's a Bollinger Band, if it's a Fibonacci, blah, blah, blah. Get a real-time volume event there. So now you have your area that you deem important, and then you're confirming it with real-time volume events. That's the edge. Here we go. Ready for the rant? Here we go. Every webinar. Let's see.
Gold
Learning.
stocks top by GC. 361 contracts.
So upsetting. I wanted to get long that. I'll come back there in a second. I got to get my rant out first. Learning to trade an edge like.
Gold iceberg by GC. 170 contracts.
All right, that's fine, guys. See, that's the thing too. I'll come back to my rant here in a second. Even if you miss a trade or you didn't get in the trade, remember I was saying how bullish I am gold. Well, it's confirming. There's always one right around the corner. I was waiting for a retest of this zone. Didn't happen. Here we go. Here's another event. What's this? This is a step bros. Very, very powerful. This is the sixth setup, sixth wonder of the world. What's step bros? Let's see if I can find it. Right here. Step bros. So I'm getting this event in potentially an important area. Step bros is when you get buy ice and buy stops in the same direction. Very powerful. Inherently, this is a bullish setup just by itself. If it breaks, then I talk about this in the course. Then you expect multiples the other way. But as of right now, this is bullish to begin with. I have already bullish the market. Now, if I put trades on, I am firing on this. I'm probably going to trade 3 times size, right? And I'm willing to do that. You got to monitor your risk for the day, right? If you decide, just quickly, right? We talk about all the time about trading correct position sizing, right? And that's in that spreadsheet. You can put this in whatever you. So 10% is way too much on trades. Remember, I'm doing the apex for a lot of these trading strategies. But you plug in your account size. You plug in what you want to risk. So
stock by GC.
Damn it.
184 contracts.
All right, gold's off to the races. But there's another event I could trade off that. Anyway, you plug in. Say you got a $10,000 account, right? I got to remember to switch this back because I always forget. Right? You should only be risking about 2% on each trade. On a $10,000 account, you can trade more, but you have a bad day, you're going to blow out your account, right? So $200. You should only be risking about 6% of your account size in a day. You hit that, you need to be done trading. So if I decide, say you decided, okay, I love this gold trade too, I'm putting on triple size. Well, that's 6%. So if you're basically putting your whole day at risk here, putting on that trade. And if you love it, perfectly fine. But if it loses, you've got to be okay with stopping for the day. You don't lose that trade and say, I'm going to risk another 6% and then I'm going to be good. No, because then you go on tilt and you get pissed off and you're like, well, screw it. I already lost 12% of the day. Why not just risk another 10%? Oh, screw it. I lost that one. Screw it. And then you wake up the next morning and you lost 80% of your account and you're like, what the hell was I thinking? And if you don't think it can happen to you, it's a 100% going to happen to you if you trade that way. 100%. And then you're going to kill your account. So the point is, it's fine. If you love this trade, you want to trade 6%, great. If you lose on it, you better be done for the day. See what I'm saying? Don't even get me into my rants on how much, ignoring that rule, it's cost me millions of dollars, right? I won't get into that right now. Maybe if I'm really feeling ranty in a little bit, we'll do it. Anyway, this is the new setup. So what can I do here? There's a way I can still trade that event, the Step Bros, right? And it's going to tell me when it retests with the awesome tool here. Actually, is it working in here? Hold on, I don't see any lines being drawn here. That's not good. Oh, you know why I have them off? Let's see. Let's get them drawn. Get some confusion in here. Like, what are all those lines on your chart? So anyway, this is going to tell me if that first event retests, right? And then I'm going to trade long off of that. And what I can do here, so you see all these coming in here. Hold on. So this is just a variation. This is in the course too, trading variations of the zone. I can go long off of that event, and then I can trail my stop to that event.
Gas iceberg by NG, 150 contracts.
So I'm missing
NG short entered.
See, I'm missing natural. I can't get over there right now. But anyway, or I can do the same thing with this event. So we'll see what happens. It's good. This is the great about the Drawing Tool Pro. It's going to tell me, so I don't have to sit here and stare at it, hoping I don't miss a trade. Just take one quick look at natural gas. This is where I forgot to delete my order into the number. So you can't, I'm missing a trade here. Why? This is a bark trade. Blind ATR and a lick. There's the liquidity down here. There's your ATR. There's your retest. There's your confirm. Algo guy's bearish. I should be in this trade. I missed the trade. And I have no excuse because it's reading off. But you can, what you can do off of this new event that just fired off, you can do the same thing. I just need to take a break right. I can't. I'll come back to that if things are just completely dead. But let's see where NASDAQ is. Just kind of holding here. All right, see if you guys got any questions. Been there, done that. Scott, do you know ICT and what do you think of him? I have no idea what you're talking about. What's ICT? Who's ICT? I don't know. I have no idea. All right, so my stop for this short's working here, and I'm still long ES, right? I haven't got stopped out yet from the very first trade you put on in the webinar. This is exactly why I put my stops where I do. I put them, the ATR plus change, below that event. That's how I trade. So if this turns around and rips up, I still am long. All right. ICT is inner clown trader. Is he in here? Like, why would I watch ICT? Like, why are you guys watching him if he's a clown? Is he trade with Bookmap? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Nor do I really care. I mean, I'll listen. Guys, that's the other thing too. I don't claim to be, I'm obviously very experienced, and this system, this edge is in my opinion, the best edge you can ever use in trading. But I'm always willing to learn. You should always be willing to learn, right? And add and adapt, right? We're doing this I didn't even know this existed, a month ago. The price change algo, right? Didn't even know it existed. I never even would have thought the 5-minute price change has such an effect on these markets and the rotations and everything. Now I'm incorporating into my trading, like timing my exits and my entries, and you can even scalp up. You see what I mean? Like, I'm willing, if I see new things, to adapt it to my trading. That's what you always have to be ready to. If you just stick with one thing, right? So at one point, I thought I had made it, and I did. I made millions of dollars, and I'm like, I got it. Like, nothing's gonna change with this stuff. It's the orders coming in the order book. Guess what? It changed. I went from making millions to zero overnight. Just could not make a dollar overnight, and I was just printing money, right? And I wasn't adapting to what was happening at the time. Algos were taking over, volatility was at an all-time low, so on and so forth, and I just kept doing it. And I finally had like my first losing year. I think it was 2006, I want to say. I think I lost like 200-300 grand, right? I had made, again, guys, this is not bragging. This is showing you, because this is glory days, right? It's not like I'm $1 million trader again. I'm going to be $1 million trader again, but the point is, I'm on my way back. But I could have basically kept that if I learned to adapt. You know what I mean? So anyway, I made my first year 2002, it was 2.4 million. 2003, I made 10 million. This is for my firm. You got to give your cut and everything else. 2004, I made 1.8 million. And this was, remember, that was the day back to my if you don't stop yourself out, you're going to blow out. I lost on 2 different days, 1 month apart. It was a Friday both times. Both times I was going to a wedding. By the way, that was really weird. I lost $800,000 on a single day twice when I was supposed to stop out at 100 grand. My firm was supposed to stop me out too, right? So that's 1.4 million I could have added to that if I just stopped out when I should have. So I should have made 3.2 million in 2004. Didn't do it. Cost me 1.4 million that I kind of wish I had nowadays, right? If I would have followed my rules. So anyway, my point is, then I got into 2005. I think 2005 was a loser too. 2005, I think I lost like 100 grand for the year. 2006, I lost like 280, right? So you can see these were minuses. It started to do that, and I did not adapt at the time, right? And there was very limited tools too, but I just didn't know. I was new. So this is the point of these webinars, guys. You take my experience and learn, so you don't have to go through this pain. There's a saying out there, having money and losing it is way, way worse than never having it at all, because you don't know what you're missing when you never have it all. When you have it and you think you made it and you're a millionaire and then you go like that, it's not a very good feeling, and you don't really adjust to it for years and years and years. I still have PTSD, right? So the point is, you need to be adapting with your trading, right? So that's my rant on that one. All right, I just mentally, I can't take NG right now, so I'm just going to pass on those trades. Let's just keep an eye on this stuff. What else is firing up? My room just said something. What did I say? My voice sounds different. That's weird. Might be because I'm a little hungover too. One of my good friends from Chicago was in town last night, and I went out with him and had a few drinks, so that might be why my voice sounds different. All right, what am I doing here? Let's see. So again, the good thing about Bookmap, if I don't know what I missed, I heard it, but I was talking. You come over here onto your alerts. What did I miss? Got some bond stuff, right? Remember I was long. I had a nice 2-hour trade earlier. Here's a new setup. Let's see what's going on in there. Bonds I can handle right now mentally because it's much slower mover than NG. But if you can get over NG and you got these alerts and stuff and the zones, go trade it. So I mentioned this copper trade that I missed this morning. That's not very nice. It's upsetting. Let's go over here. All right, so I was long earlier. I got out at the red lug. It obviously cleared that and built new lugs, and it's fine. It's still a 2-hour trade. You don't know what's going to happen, right? I got out where I was supposed to get out. There's bonds right here. Should be new lugs. There you go. Hey, look at that. Wow. You believe that bounced right off that red lug? Shocker. So anyway, that's why I got out of my trade here. I ended up building new lugs. Off to the races. Now just this is why I use lugs, guys. And here you go. Ludwig levels. You had extreme standard deviation, red lug, and it's failing at that market profile. That's an area where even if I did get long, if I was long, I would have definitely been on at this new lug too. So this is why I use these. They're ridiculously powerful for targets, for support resistance, and come up with the thesis. This is a perfect example with the thesis here. Right? Built new lugs. What should it do? It should hold directional yellow prior red. If it does that, what do you expect? The next red. There's the next red. Like a charm. And I am bullish Mons overall too. You can see here what happened here. And guys, this is all the same too. We'll look at Bitcoin, or you can look at every market you want. What do you see here? I see balance, breakdown. Then I see balance, break out through the high volume node of prior balance. Any of these trades I should have been trading, the trade I had on, I should have been trading double size. I actually looked at this, I just forgot this morning, right? That is a fail breakdown of that structure. That's a breakout of that structure through that, and you see what happens, right? So anyway, I just got a volume event. Guess what? All that happened. I said how bullish this is. I will take a short here. Actually, this could be two different trading setups right here, or trading strategies. So where's bonds? And guys, don't roll your eyes that I'm on bonds, or if I show you wheat or copper. It's all the same stuff. If you understand the thresholds, and you don't even really need to know the thresholds, because the drawing tool draws the threshold if it's meaningful, aka thresholds. You just need to know how to trade them, right? So here we go. Here's a volume event. I just said bonds look ridiculously bullish. I'll take a short right here if this turns out to be a bearish event. Don't pay attention to the numbers on this though. They're not drawn. They're not printing correctly. Just follow your zone over here. So the zone was 124.17 to 124.16, a whopping 1 tick zone. So it's all the same stuff. Come over here, come to bonds. 124.17, 124.16. ATR is 0.184. There's your prices. So I know that's an Izzy zone. First move out, I'm going short there. That's at 09, 1.10. I'll just put on one in this case because I'm not bearish the market. I'm not going to trade double size. Oh, there's volume pressure at NASDAQ. We'll look at that here in a second. Is that right? 124.09? Okay, if it comes down there, I'm short that. And what's another trading strategy I can take here? This is potentially an I lug U. So it's not a stop run at the lug, but it's iceberg. In this case, it'll be broken ice. Potentially, I think that's almost, that's not quite up there. So if it would have happened up here, this is where the Ludwig level was, then I would have done that. So for this, I'm just going to take an Izzy. If that comes down, this fails, I'm going to be short. You'll hear fire off. All right, there's something, remember we were talking about scalping around the position in NQ. I just heard, so watch this. Well, my stop's already right here anyway. It's up at 15. Well, we can maybe take some off. Or I can add here, right? What just happened here?
GC long validated.
Of course it is.
GC long validated.
Hold on, I keep forgetting about this, and this is the market that I want to trade the most. You can, hey, look at that. I can't believe it stopped in this Step Bros zone. There you go. I need to be long this, like right now, and I'm trading double size. At least. Damn it. I can't remember if that was that zone. Hold on. No, I never even put the zone in. 207.5.5. See, this is just mental errors right here, right? All I've been talking about is how bullish I am gold this entire webinar. Down at 207.3. That was the Step Bros setup, right? Hold on. 2.86 is your ATR. So it already obviously did the validation. You heard it say it. It did the retest. I should be long at 88. I should put on 6. I'm going to put on 12 if I can still get in this. Right here. All right, so 88. I'll be long 12. Barks and licks. Then I'll show you what I'm going to do. A little variation of my stop. Hold on. What are these? Hold on. Gold. Bark metals is 56, and Lick is 87. Hold on. What did I say? It's right here, right? 88, 6, 87. All right, those are working. Let's see what that was again. Yeah, 88. Trading double size. I think I said triple size. I'll just put on double size here. It is gold after all. I will be. If If you're trading gold, you better be ready for some torture treatments most times. All right, so what am I doing here? We already talked about this.
HT1 retested.
You got the volume event. You got your ATR. You got your retest. I'm going long. I should already be long. I just didn't get in it yet. So if it comes back, I'm long at 88. Then what I can do is I'll plug in this zone, and I'll trail my stop to that versus that, because that's the most recent event. Then what I can do is potentially add to those trades if everything works out the way I think it's going to, right? So you'll hear my fill if it comes up there. I should already be filled. I just didn't get in because I was slow. But if it comes back, I'm long. We were looking at this to potentially add based on market pulse, volume profile. What happened on market pulse? This is volume pressure imbalance. So I'm using 2 of these right now. There's like 5 and there's more to come. But we haven't even looked at the order book yet. You can go down a rabbit hole with this thing too. But everything's incredible. There's edge and all this stuff. The price change algo, I have it. It's default. Whatever comes up, you just hit play, run it, right? It's based on, you open this up here, here's your settings. It's based on 5 minutes. It's showing me the price change, the 70% of the threshold for the last 5 minutes. We've already seen these markets. I can show you 100 of them right now where they react to the price change, right? It has nothing to do with traded volume. It has to do with just a quick price change. He's always coming in, snap it back the other way. The other one is the volume pressure imbalance. I have these all set at the same thing. This one I change. I move it to an hour. That's the only thing I change. So what's that telling me? So right here in NASDAQ, just very telling. It's giving you information on what's going on. Somebody jumped up here, was very aggressive. Wow, look at that routine. Do you ever see that? Retested the area. You can take that. I should have been short, added to the short there. I could, just for the ad, and put your stop right above there, right? So I missed this ad. This is exactly what I said I wanted to do. That's already 15 points and counting. Point is, you're taking advantage of something that just happened in the market. I wouldn't put, these aren't like the SI events, right? These are king. These are number one. This stuff is more fleeting, but you can take advantage. Whoever just jumped up and bought this, how are they doing? Not good. You're taking advantage of that, right? You're taking advantage of that area where you can add to the short just with your ad and just risk above there. Say, okay, they were wrong. I'm going to take advantage of that, jump in, see how far I can take this. You can either hold it to traditional areas to get out of your ad, or you can wait for an opposing that's offsides. See what I'm saying? So I missed that. That's what I wanted to do. But when I'm watching all these markets, I'm missing trades left and right, as you can see. I'm still short, but I would have added to that based on that little blip right there. So you got questions on that? Throw them in there. We're almost at the time too, so you got that the other dude comes on. So I'm gonna hop off here shortly. So you got questions? Now's the time to ask. You guys are talking about this ICD. Why do I care about this ICD trader? I'm not understanding why you guys are even paying attention to him if he's a clown. For some reason you guys are talking about him. So yeah, I'm not saying other educators don't have different ideas than me. Absolutely they do. My point is, I have not only ideas, but I have 25 years of experience, and I made many millions of dollars at one time. So why does that help you? Because you can learn this stuff and learn from my mistakes in here and my trade room, right? Every day, so you don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations as me. You can just go through the tribulations, right? That's the point. So you're getting 25 years of experience from me. What was that? Hold on. What did I just fill on? I just filled on my gold long. But that's the point, right? Yeah, there's different takes on the market. This is my take on it. If you want to take advantage of a guy that's traded millions and millions and millions of contracts, I used to average 1 million round turns a month. So you can imagine the order flow experience that I have, and that's what all this stuff's based off of. It doesn't mean you can't take another educator, use something of what he's teaching, and then kind of merge it with this. The whole point is to build your own trade plan. I'm giving you the information. I'm showing you the most powerful edge I've ever seen. You might want to pay attention. Then build your own stuff out. That it's not to come in here and mirror my trades. Yeah, if you're following my rules, it's very likely you're mirroring my trades. But, the point is, I get out at certain areas. You may say you took a long off of this, right? Well, I may be getting out at an area I find important. You may say, I'm holding it all the way to say you're using lugs. I'm holding that to the next red lug. So that's why, so I'm using these because I get all the time, what's your winning percentage for blah, 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 blah. Guys, it doesn't, the winning percentage, I don't care if I said every one of these strategies was 90%. Does that mean they're going to be 90% for you? No, because you're not going to be getting out of the same place as I can get. So here's an example. Say I got long here and I got out of all of them at the lug. Say the lug was here. I got out and you're like, I'm going to wait for my 200-day moving average up here. It's that or bust. And it does that. I get out at the lug. It turns around and then stops out. Well, does that mean the strategy didn't work? So you take a loss on it because you were trying for one thing, right? I make it and I'm out. See that? So that I don't care if I said every strategy was 100%. It doesn't mean you were making 100% on the trade because you may be reacting in a different way. Here we go with this is where it gets crazy. So anyway, my point is before I hop off here, if you're learning, if you want, if you're trying to learn what I'm doing, I highly recommend you get this, the Apex. That's this. Right, where's that right here? You use this code for any of the deals that they're going on. You can get in these accounts, and you got to make, depending on which one you do. I use $150,000 accounts for these strategies. You got to make $9,000 before you lose $5,000. Right? Use Pulcini 50. They got the 71% off right now. So the point is, use this stuff. If you're learning what you're doing, don't use your own money. Right? Learn what you're doing. You got skin in the game. If you do well, then you're funded anyway. If you get blown out, you lose the $60 or whatever it comes out to after the percentage off. I say it every week, guys, but there's no reason to be risking your living money when you're just trying to figure this stuff out. Yeah, there's a guy in my trade room that I use him as an example all the time because he's an example of what you can do. He started with $100,000 real money. Right, and he was comfortable with what we were doing, and he follows the rules to a T. He turned $100,000 into $1.5 million. He's in the room. You can come talk to him, send him a message, private message. He'll tell you. No matter what you ask him, he's going to say just follow the rules. His name's Lance. Come in the room. The point is, it can be done, but I would not be trading a $100,000 account of real money until you understand what the hell you're doing.
Validated.
All right, I'm about to get stopped out of the rest of that short. And remember, so I took off half down here, and I'm still long ES, right? And this is why those of you that love to trail your stop for 2 points, yeah, I mean, granted, you might have got out here, but if this rips up, I never stopped out because of my rules from watching 5.2 million of these things, right? All right, lots of mini rants today. I don't see any other questions. Which market pulse tool do you use most? Well, it depends on what you're looking at. If you want to scalp, I'd be using the volume, pressure, and balance. And we just heard that fire off one more time quickly in NASDAQ. There you go again. So the buyers this time. So I could have saved myself a little money here. I'm about to stop out in 4 points for the remainder. There you go. This time they came in. This is why this stuff is fleeting. It's not as powerful as this. Here's that. Buyers were strong. Here's your retest. You can go long that next high and put your stop below there as a scalp. Or I could have gotten out right there. I mean, I just left it where it was. It's only 5 points. But you see what I'm saying? You're taking advantage of stuff that's happening in real time in these markets. But guys, this is fleeting. We already saw the buyers were off sides here. It did move down 20 points or whatever, and then they came back, and now they're winning, right? So you can scalp off this. This is not to take the place of the SI Stop Iceberg volume events. That's the king. All right, so I continuously get questions. Oh, do you have a trial to your trade room? This is the trial. This is what I do every single day in my trade room, twice a day most days, morning and in the afternoon. This is all I do. I show these setups, show how I trade them, go over my thesis, so on and so forth. Right? So this is the trial, right? So I don't give trials because the most important reason is when you come in my room, there's so much stuff that you get. Like I'm not going to just give it all out for free and then you come in and take it and then you're gone. Like that's not going to happen, right? So there's no trials. This is the trial. So this is what I do. The exact same thing every day. I don't want to use dumb as a word in this, but I dumb it down a little bit on these webinars because there's newer traders in here, right? But this is exactly what I do every day. So if you want to learn my method, take advantage of my experience, and the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, how to use this edge, come in the room. That's all I got. And once again, I tell you guys every week, the course is there for you to fast track your learning. So when you do come in the room, remember I'm trading live. So all you guys that complain I talk too fast, blah, 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 I'm trading live and I'm watching 20 different markets. So I can't break everything down in this simplistic every rule. So if you want to get fast track, get the course, learn the stuff, so when you hit my trading room, you hit the ground running. Got it? All right. Hopefully you enjoyed some of my rants. I'm a real trader, guys. I'm I'm emotional. I make mistakes. You've seen all the above today, right? I don't claim to be perfect. I make mistakes nonstop, but the point is, come in there and then you're like, you learn. When I make mistakes, you're like, oh, I'm not going to make that mistake, right? That's the idea. All right, you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you all next Thursday.